Hi, everyone, and welcome to ODAC's Youth Advocacy Month Fireside Chats. We're so excited to kick off the month with Michael Kutcher. Michael, thank you so much for being here today, and would love for you to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you do.
Well, hi Divya, hi Candace. Thank you for inviting me on this, and it's a great privilege to be here. I appreciate the invite. A little bit about myself, a little bit about what I do. I'm first and foremost, why I'm here is I'm an organ donation advocate. I often say that it's a subject that touched my heart, but to be honest with you, it is my heart. I received a heart transplant at the age of 13. So that was roughly around 30 years ago. And I've been able to go on to do amazing things and help many people and really inspire people and teach people about the gift of life and the appreciation of life as a keynote speaker and really the gifts that we all can give back with organ donation. And so I'm a huge advocate of it. Happy to join your team today and discuss a little bit more of it.
Yeah, and we thank you so much for being here. I think something that I want to kind of talk about is a lot of people advocate for a lot of different things, but how do you go from the point of being just an advocate who, posts stuff on social media and tells their friends about things to being someone that starts a foundation and speaks to the world about it? How did that jump kind of go, and what prompted you to do that?
I think it's all about motivation, and I think it's all about the passion that I have to give back to others, and I get that question a lot of how do I start being an advocate, and how do I help people more? And my message is you can always be an advocate. Even if it's one person that you're telling the message to, that's still advocacy. And in me, how I was able to get kind of a larger and a bigger brand around myself, it goes with hard work, it goes with perseverance with that, and also looking at the opportunities that you have around yourself to expose people to a powerful message. I sit here before you with almost 30 years of life due to someone else. I'm not one to just sit on the sideline and do nothing with that. I feel that I was given a purpose to advocate for different things that are near and dear to me, that I'm drawn to, that affect my life, whether it be disability advocacy or whether it be organ donation advocacy. I was given this purpose to go and share this and help people. And think about this. If I can impact one person to be an organ donor, I'm saving lives. Is there any other way that you can say that you're helping to save people's lives? Unless you're a physician, right? Or somehow you're in the medical field or something. But this is something that we all can do, and we can impact the world and save people's lives and give back. So I always say, kind of a motto that if you're not giving back, you're not moving forward. So I choose to just not sit on the sidelines and move forward.
For sure. So when it comes to organ donation, there's a lot of misconceptions and stuff like that surrounding the topic in general.
Right.
So where do you think that gap is, and how do you think that we could help bridge this gap as advocates? And
look at the statistics. Correct me if I'm speaking out of turn here. I don't know the exact statistic, but I think it's 90% of Americans believe in organ donation. But what's the percentage, remind me here, what's the percentage that actually sign up? It's somewhere in 30%?
Yeah, I believe it's to the 40 to 50% range that
40,
actually sign up.
50%. I mean, I think what you're asking here, Candace, is why do we have that gap? Right? Why do we have that gap, and what can we do to fill that gap between 90 and we'll call it 50%? It's a huge gap. And I think that it's educating people. It's getting awareness out. It's stopping the myths that surround organ donation. To me, it's more about, just like I said, getting that word out, getting the message out, telling stories of how it impacts people and what they've done with their lives from organ donation. So if I can give a quick plug, I'm doing a Clubhouse meeting. If you're on Clubhouse, I'm doing a Clubhouse room on May 22nd at 1 o'clock Eastern time about organ donation awareness. We're gonna have a huge room. So I hope people can join and hear how, families affect families and my story and how it's affected my life, and give awareness and help people sign up and register.
No, I love that. Sorry, Candace, go ahead.
No, I'm just super excited. Like, as soon as you mentioned it, I'm like, yes, I'm going to be there. It's like in my calendar now.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Divya, we gotta get you on Clubhouse.
Yes, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. But I think you're completely right. It's that gap in the knowledge, and I think that's a big part of what we do at ODAC as well. We're trying to just fill that gap in and get as many people educated, especially young people, as possible. But how do you get young people involved in a cause that primarily is revolved around older people? Like, how do we get young people to come in? I think that's what we're all trying to do. But I'd love to know a bit more about how you think we can get youth involved in the organ donation cause.
Yes, I think that's a great question, a great point of, it's typically like an older kind of thought process when people go to the DMV, right? and they sign up. I think it's really a mindset and it's a perception. I love what ODAC's doing to be able to focus on the youth and May being Youth Advocacy Month. I think we have to go to where young people are and speak that power to them and give that message to them. Where are young people? Young people are on social media, right? That's it. It's Clubhouse, it's Instagram, it's Snapchat. Like, we have to go to their level and tell the message. And fortunately, organ donation, the conversation, it's a conversation about, well, what do you want to do? What's your choice when you die, right? No one wants to talk about death. Who wants to talk about death? So I think that you have to look at situations where that conversation's being had, right? Is it, life insurance? Is it dealing with attorneys? Is it dealing with employee benefits? And yeah, maybe that doesn't touch young people, but I think that's a start to jumpstart the conversation as well. We have to get into the colleges, get into the high schools, and give this message before their mind gets kind of, I want to say tainted, but before they start getting some of those myths and the negative impressions in their head. But I think that our youth is so just empowered with what we're doing. It's people like you. I mean, you guys are college students and look what you're doing. It's amazing. But I think we just have to get that message out there where the youth are and try to give them stories that resonate with them.
Yeah, definitely 100%. And I think that's what we're trying to do as well. Like, you would never catch me on TikTok, but here we are. ODAC has a TikTok, and we're even starting an under a minute challenge because it takes less than a minute to register as an organ donor. So we kind of created this challenge to get people to try to do something in under a minute. And if they can't, they register as an organ donor, and then they're sharing it with their friends. More people are doing the challenge, and it's just hoping to drive registration. And yeah, so I completely agree. It's all about getting on the level of the younger people, getting on the level of your audience, and just kind of going from there and working with them towards it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's also super important, but like this is a subject matter that is oriented towards older people, right? So like you don't really think about a younger person needing a kidney or a liver or anything like that. So putting what we do in organ donation in a frame and using vocabulary that really resonates with people that are like younger like us and making them like sympathize with that is super, super important. That's been like a big project for us and a big motivation for us whenever we're doing anything.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't think that younger people would need organs, but I certainly did.
Yeah.
13 years old. So there are those stories out there, and most people think, well, you're gonna know when you're sick, and you're gonna have the signs, and then you'll have time to prepare and stuff when you're ill. I had none of that. I was, I got sick, and then I had 3 to 4 weeks to live, and then it came down to 48 hours. There was no time of preparation for me. So, I also think it's important for people to realize that, even though you're youth and you think that you're healthy and you might not need an organ, so why give back and be an organ donor? You never know. Maybe someday you will. So, do you want, if you were in that situation too, and you were ill and you need an organ, you would want someone else to check that box, right? So why aren't you checking that box for them, for the other people? We don't want to think about death. We want to think about our last days. But let's be honest, it can happen tomorrow to any of us. So why not give the last gift that you have on this earth, and give it to someone else so they can do better and empower people and give back and just enjoy life a little bit more, like I have.
Yeah, when you say like that, it all just comes down to checking a box. That's it, like 1 second of your life. That's all it takes. And you can
click a button.
Yeah, or click a button. It literally takes less than a minute, and that's crazy to me that everyone's not doing it. But you spoke a little bit about how you received your donation when you were a lot younger. Did you know anything about organ donation or transplantation at the time or prior to, your story? Yeah? Yeah,
absolutely not. No, I had no education. And when you're 13, it's really your parents' decision, right? So you don't really get to make that decision until you're 16, which is weird, right? Like, I understand parental guidance and all that, but I had no idea. In fact, when I was told that you need a heart transplant, I'm sitting in the hospital bed and thinking to myself, okay, well, this is cool. Like, I get attention here because I love attention. Who doesn't, right? But cool, I'm 13, I get attention because I'm sick in the hospital. It's probably like getting my tonsils out. So how much, so I asked the cardiologist 2 questions. I said, how long do I get to be out of school? Because no one wants to go to school when they're 13. And number 2 is, how much ice cream do I get? Like, those were the questions I had when I was told, yeah, Michael, you need a heart transplant. And it wasn't until like the conversation got brought up of how long do we have? And the doctor, he knew I wasn't getting it from my previous comments. So he looked at me and he spoke directly to me. He said, you have 3 to 4 weeks. And it wasn't there until I realized he's telling me I have 3 to 4 weeks to live, right? And that it's just a very eye-opening experience to be able to be told that you have 3 to 4 weeks to live. The normal person, if they're told 3 to 4 weeks to live, like Divya, if we told you, hey, you're healthy, you're in school, you have 3 to 4 weeks to live, you'd probably go out and live life, right? You'd probably drop out of school, like just go to Disneyland, live life, travel, whatever I'm in a hospital bed. I can't live life. I just gotta wait for life to expire. And due to the generosity of someone else, my life didn't expire. And I've been able to live the last 30 years. I mean, guys, I have a 16-year-old son. I have kids. My oldest is 16. He wouldn't even be born had I not had a transplant. Mm-hmm. That's crazy. And all of the people that I've been able to get back to, I've been able to inspire, the relationships with my parents, my siblings, everyone that I've touched in this life is due to one person checking a box. It's an amazing gift. We all have the power to give back. We just have to be educated and take that step and register and give back.
Yeah, 100%. And it's crazy. One person, they touch 8 people who then help 8 people, and it just keeps going. It just keeps catapulting into just saving people, which I think is amazing. And I think it's giving people a second chance at life, or even just a first chance at life, getting them to live their life for the first time, I think is incredible. So I'd really like to know, so you've been an advocate for so long now, how has that played a role in your everyday life, and what have you learned from it, from touching other people, from speaking to other people? How has being an advocate changed your life?
Well, it's definitely made it more busier. I have a full-time job working for a large insurance company. So that keeps me busy, but my advocacy work, I would say the biggest thing that changed my life is the connection with people and be able to hear people's stories. And, people often ask me, well, what motivates you? Why do you keep being an advocate? And the answer is because of all the people I touch. And I often say that, for example, this video, I don't know how many people are going to watch it. I hope plenty. But if there's just one person that watches this and goes out and registers to be an organ donor, by the way, if you did watch this and you registered because of this talk, send me a message. I'd love to hear it. But it's those stories. So I was in a clubhouse room the other day, and I was just telling my story. At the end of the room, someone raised his hand and said, Michael, I was touched by your story, and I just went and I just signed up. That is what keeps me advocating. That's what touches my life to tell me I can't give up. I have to keep telling this message, because you know why? Because I just saved 8 lives by telling it with that one person. And if there's one person on this video, I just saved 8 more. And yes, I'll be an organ donor for as many organs as they can take from me. And I'll save lives there. We won't just always say save lives, but impact lives, right? But if I keep telling my story and keep advocating, it's more and more and more lives that we're saving. And man, if I can let someone go on to live the legacy and inspire people and give back the way that I've done, and pay it forward, then that's my purpose. And as much as I love my corporate job and I love what I do for a living, it's not my purpose, right? My purpose is to impact people and move forward and give back.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's such a great purpose to have in life and such a great thing that you're doing. And I'm so grateful for everything that you do. And, you really are touching lives, and that's amazing to see. I guess to kind of wrap up and kind of come full circle, do you have any advice to young people who want to advocate for a cause, whatever that cause may be, and just don't know how to get started?
Yeah, I think that it's important to find your passion, to find your cause. And it might not be something that directly affects your life. Divya, I don't think you have any direct connection to organ donation, but look what you're doing. So it doesn't have to be something that directly affects your life. A lot of times it is, like myself. Like I said, it's not about having to be like this national public speaker or, having all these followers to be an advocate. I've been blessed to be able to have a platform where I can do that and use that as a gift for others. But like I said before, you just have to speak up. You have to use the power of influence that you have, whether big or small, to impact people. And like I said, one person, right? If you tell your friend and your friend goes to register as an organ donor, you've just impacted more lives as an advocate, right? So you're an advocate. And is it reposting stuff that ODAC talks about? Is it, looking at other organizations that you can share their message as well? That's an advocate. And as you keep doing that, you're gonna grow. And as I said, maybe you won't become, a huge advocate, but you have to know within yourself the difference that you're making, even on a smaller level, to be able to impact lives and give back.
Yeah, you're 100% right. You're 100% right. Well, we thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for sharing your wisdom with all of us. It's really exciting to hear. And to everyone out there, I hope that you listened, I hope that you watched, and we all hope that you register. We will link all of Michael's socials below. And so make sure to check him out. And I think you're about to say what I'm going to say, but check that box.
Check that box, push that button. Where can they go to register?
They can go to ODAC's website. They can check out the help app. ODAC has a bunch of things on their page where you can sign up and register. But we'll make sure to leave a link down below where you can register as well.
You mean down below?
Down below.
Down below this video?
Yeah, check it out.
Check it out. All right. Yeah. Thank you so much. I appreciate everything that ODAC's doing to get the message out to the youth. More importantly, to the youth. And if I can help out in any way and share my story with you, with others, through speaking or whatever medium it might be, I'm more than happy to do so. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.